Hello investors, thank you so much for joining me. My name is Michael from Deep Value Returns on Seeking Alpha. Today I want to talk about Anghami. So Anghami is a streaming platform that's available in the MENA region. This is a predominantly Arabic region and they play Arabic music as well as international music. The stock has been on a roller coaster ride in the last several days, with Thursday seeing the stock rally more than 150% in a day before giving back a portion of its gains. We're going to go through and discuss this SPAC. Going to go through and highlight why this stock at 12 times forward sales is overvalued. So let's just get into this, right? So it's quite interesting. So in the past week, the stock, went from being dormant to rallying meaningfully on Thursday before it giving back approximately 40% of its gains. Yet, the week as a whole, obviously, the stock is up still substantially. It's up more than 30% in a week, which, is very, very strong performance. Now, let's just try and understand what's actually at play here, okay? So, they're pointing that in the investor presentation that they published in early January, that the stock is, that the company's revenues are going to be up to 36 million, okay? So you can see that compared with 2020, it's up approximately 18% year over year. Now, of the subscription revenues, subscription revenues are only up approximately 6% year over year. The meaningful driver for the consolidated revenue to be up so much is that advertising revenues soared more than 50% year over year, closer to 55% year over year. So this is really the driving force right here. But advertising revenues, it's a tough game, and to be able to drive some of that revenue, speaks strongly of the company's prospects. Okay, now this is what I'm thinking about in the top of my mind. So if it grew by 18% in 2021 off that larger base, let's make the case that it's going to grow by 20% again in 2022. Okay, so it's gone from 18 and now it's going to accelerate into 2022 and grow by 20%. This puts the revenues at approximately 43 million. Okay, so I'm going to come back to this in a minute, but let's talk about what it actually does. So the thesis behind it is that Anghami has approximately 60% of the market share. So it has more than Spotify at 14%, more than YouTube Music, more than Apple. It's just really, the dominant player in this region. And that's the thesis, right? So what they talk about is that although the catalog is only 1% Arabic music, it accounts for 50% of the total streaming time by users. So it's something that's very much focused for their user base, and that's the thesis, right? That we have a very powerful moat around our operations, and that's why we should be valued the way we are valued. Now, when we look at its gross profit margins, we can see here that the gross profit margin is approximately 27% for 2021. So I'll just remove this lower a little bit. Yeah, for 2021, 27% gross profit margins. This is in line with, let's say, what Spotify has done. Spotify has also done 2021 at approximately 27%, Q4 particularly. What Spotify is talking about is that they're going to be growing their gross profit margin to approximately 30 to 40% in the near term. Now, whether they do that or not, it's a question mark. What we do know is that on the back of Spotify having 27% gross margins, it's able to be free cash flow generative, and it's able to be profitable. In the case of Anghami, it's basically talking about finishing 2021 with negative 21% EBITDA margins, okay? So this is reversing a lot of what it did in 2020 and 2019. So if it was making a path to profitability, 2021 is really kind of like, whoop, taking a huge step back. And it makes you think whether they're getting any operating leverage out of their business model at all. It's going to be difficult for me to see at which point in time they start to once again plow back that, and try to reverse some of this, and especially as they increase in their headcount, can they really get that EBITDA margin somewhere on the profitable side? And then we have to remember that, the EBITDA margin is like something that is meaningfully adjusted for stock-based compensation, and that's the bulk here. The bulk of the add back is stock-based compensation, and the business is really just, it's going to be a long time before you actually see a clean profit from Anghami. Now, on their recent investor presentation, they talk about having 31.5 million shares outstanding. In a previous one from 18 months ago, they have 36 million shares outstanding. The difference being that on this one, they talk about the fact that if they've excluded the VMAC public stockholders. So the whole purpose of the public stockholders is that you're going to cash in your warrants, right? So if you exclude that, you end up with this figure of 31.5, but I mean, the share price is already at 16. So, I mean, they're clearly going to, it's not mathematically logical that they wouldn't cash in these warrants. So I think this is a bit disingenuous. But let's just take this number here, 31.5 million shares outstanding. This puts the market cap of the company at approximately 500 million, okay? Now, if we say, okay, let's look out to next year. And that figure that I talked about before, that they're going to be growing at 20%. That's a question mark. I looked around and there's no kind of analyst for this company. So my estimate here is as good as anyone else's. So let's say that they accelerate their growth rates and that they report 43 million of revenues next year. At that point, you're paying approximately 12 times forward sales for this business, for this unprofitable business, okay? And helpfully, on the investor presentation, they say, hey, look, consider other peers. So you got here Spotify on the left-hand side, not sure if you can see that, at the time of the presentation was priced at 3.3 times forward sales, and they put some other ones like Tencent Music, the next one up, and then Netflix, and the Egyptian ride-sharing app they put there as well at close to 10 times forward sales. Now think about this, right? Spotify has actually come down slightly. So since this investor presentation was in January, and since then Spotify is closer to approximately 2 times forward sales. But okay, anyway, so you have these peers trading at approximately, Tencent is approximately also 1.5 times forward sales. So in the ballpark of 1.5 to 2 times forward sales for Tencent Music and Spotify. Is it really worthwhile paying 12 times for this SPAC? And I'm thinking myself, okay, Spotify has, I know a lot of people kind of on the bulls and bears on the side of Spotify, but it's a talented talented management team. And if people are only willing to pay for the business model, it's a global business, and people only approximately willing to pay 2.4 times forward sales for Spotify, why would someone pay? It's not even the founder running this Anghami business. It's just some kind of, someone that they just got off the street, pretty much running this business. And why would anyone pay 12 times forward sales for a business growing at approximately 20% that is still going to be unprofitable for a while? I think it's quite difficult to make that case. But anyway, I just want to kind of highlight this, and hopefully some people will drop some ideas of what they think is the bull case. But I think that when you look through this rationally and try and think logically and thoughtfully in a dispassionate manner, I think that people will generally reach the same conclusion as me, that this business is meaningfully overvalued. But anyway, if you want to find out what kind of names I'm buying right now, don't forget to check out my marketplace right there, Deep Value Returns. You're welcome to check out my marketplace, drop me a line, see what stocks I'm highlighting right now, and don't forget to check out the reviews, what other people said about my marketplace too. Okay? Thank you so much for listening, and good luck for the earnings season. See you soon. Bye-bye.